Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Last week, inshallah ta'ala, we finished the Battle of Khandak, and after that also we finished the incident that happened with the Banu Qurayza, because they are the one who instigated the Battle of Khandak. Also, they did, they breached the treaty with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and whatever happened, the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was executed on them. So today we will talk about some incidents, because the next big incident is Battle of Hudaybiyah, or the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. But between Khandak and Hudaybiyah there was almost 8 to 9 months, because the Sulh Hudaybiyah, or the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, happened at the end of the 6th Hijrah. But Khandak happened in the beginning of the 6th year, or 6th year. So there's at least 8-9 months between these two events. And scholars say in the books of Seerah say that there's almost 14 Seerah and 2 Ghazwa between this time period. 14 expedition and 2 battles done by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're not going to explain each of them. So just a few, 3 or 4 incidents, or maybe 5 incidents I have chosen from there. So those have some important, some fiqh issues, some good incidents in there, and something to learn about that. So we choose few of them, some important events, and we will discuss about those ones. And then inshallah ta'ala from next week we'll start the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. That is one of the biggest treaty in Islam and the biggest event in Islam. Now, do you remember the difference between Sariyah and Ghazwa? What is the Sariyah and what is the Ghazwa? Anybody? Nobody?
Rasulullah did not participate directly in
Exactly right, yes. Sariyah is the one that Rasulullah never participated in. Ghazwa is a battle where Rasulullah himself participated. And we talked that there are almost 18 to 19 Ghazwa that Rasulullah took participate, and there is 30-40 of Sariyah of different group of Sahaba that happened. So today inshallah we'll start with different incidents. The first incident is the story of Thumama ibn Asal. Who is Thumama ibn Asal and what happened with him? So basically there was a Sariyah led by Muhammad ibn Maslama. Muhammad ibn Maslama was one of the great Sahaba and was a very brave warrior. So when he went for a Sariyah and he was coming back, so he saw a group of people, a group of convoy, like caravan is going, and for some reason he thought this is a rich caravan or something, and he just captured that one, because he thought it is going, it's not from the Muslim tribe, so he thought it is from the enemy tribe. So he took over them, and he caught this chieftain of that convoy, and his name was Thumama ibn Asal. Now Thumama ibn Asal, basically when they caught, they didn't know who they caught, who they captured. So when they brought to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, asked them without looking at him, Rasulullah asked them, because Jibril came and told Rasulullah, Rasulullah said, do you remember that? Do you understand who did you capture? You captured this, the great leader. He was like a figure, one part of the Arabia. He's like a figure like Abdul Muttalib. He's like a great figure everywhere. He's a big leader, Thumama ibn Asal. So when Thumama was caught and he was tied up in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so Rasulullah went to him and asked him, he gave him the dawah, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about Islam? Then he said, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He didn't say sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he was not a Muslim at that time, but he said, if you kill me, then the blood you are killing is a heavy blood. And if you leave me, I will be a person who will be very grateful to you. And if you want something from me, any money or anything, any ransom, I will give you everything you want. So he was like an arrogant person. So he's saying, look, if you want to kill me, you can kill me, but remember you are killing a heavy blood, meaning like like a tribal leader and everything. So he's mean that. So Rasulullah didn't say anything. So okay, let him go for the first day. Second day he went to the same thing. He did the same thing. He replied the same thing. Third day also he went to that guy and he told the same thing, and he let him go. Rasulullah let him go. But after the third day, he told the Sahaba, Rasulullah told the Sahaba, let him go. Because I tried 3 times and he knows the wisdom and everything. He said, let him go, let Thumama went. But in this 3 days, what happened in the 3 days? Because he was tied in the masjid. Obviously the prayer is going on in the masjid, 5 times prayer. And Rasulullah halakha is going on in the masjid. So he is watching all these things. That how Sahaba is standing behind Rasulullah, how they're praying, how the recitation of the Quran is having. So it has some effect on this guy, Thumama. So once he was released, without any ransom, without any torture or anything. So he went, out of the masjid. He went, beside somewhere, and he took shower, and he came back and he told Rasulullah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu annaka Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he took shahada, and it was amazing because he just saw this thing and everything, and he took shahada, and then he said that ya Rasulullah, I was actually going for the Umrah, because the Umrah was also there for the Jahili Arab tribe. It is from the beginning of the time, So he was going for the Umrah, and then he said, can I still do my Umrah? Because I was on my way to Umrah, then your people captured me. Now I'm a Muslim. And he also said that, your face was the most, hated face to me before these 3 days. Now your face is the most loved face to me. So this incident is very common. It happened few times in the Seerah of Rasulullah. But then Rasulullah said, yes, you can continue your Umrah and you can go finish the Umrah because you intended that way, although your intention was different. And he is the first person who went to do Umrah, and he is the first person, he did the Talbiyah, the one that we do, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik La Sharika Laka Labbaik. This Talbiyah was also done by the Quraysh before. But in their Talbiyah, there's a different thing. They said, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik La Sharika Laka Labbaik Illa. Illa means, then they add some other name of the God. That was the tradition of the kuffar of the Quraysh. But he is the first person when Rasulullah corrected him. If you go to Umrah, you say Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik La Sharika Lak. Because before that, no Muslim did Umrah, no Muslim did Hajj. Still, there's in next year or year after two, in 8th year, Rasulullah will do a Umrah, as we will describe inshallah. Then the whole group of Sahaba will go to do the Umrah. But he is the first person to do the Talbiyah. Now when the people of the Quraysh, they saw that he is doing the Talbiyah, he came here from the Umrah, they got angry and they asked him, what happened to you? Because they know him, he's a big leader. So have you become a Sabiyun? At that time the Quraysh used to say, if you take Shahada, if you take Muslim, they call you Sabiyun or Sabiyun. And Quran also, Sabiyun was a group of people. They are not Jewish, they are not Christian, they are like, basically they follow the tradition of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So then he said, no, I am not a Sabiyun, I became a Muslim, I'm a Muslim now. And he became very angry also, this guy Sumama, because he's a leader, he doesn't want to take insult or anything. He said, you talk to me like this, because from my land, I send you food. So there's a trading agreement between this area and to the Makkah. So from now on, until Prophet Muhammad say anything, I'm not going to send a single grain of rice or single grain of wheat to you people. So he said, from my side, trading is closed from you. No more thing for the Quraysh, no more from Makkah. So he went back and months went by, he didn't send anything. And there was a very shortage of fruitage for the Quraysh. And Abu Sufyan, because he was the leader, he had to give the permission and he had to send a letter to Rasulullah. He wrote a letter to Rasulullah, that Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that because of you, we know that you are preaching truth, you are preaching Islam. So he's just trying to pump Rasulullah. But your people, your new guy Islam is Sumama. He's trading with us, and we are almost having food shortage here. So please allow the food. So Rasulullah said, okay, that's fine. So he sent another letter to Sumama and told Sumama, please continue your trading with them because I don't want the people to die of starvation or anything. And it mentioned that at that time when the food was shortage, they used to eat ilhis. Ilhis is some kind of food. It's not there anymore because there's no food shortage in Arab now. But ilhis is something like they make up the blood of the camel and some hair of the camel mixed up or something. So it's like very very dirty food. They had to eat it because of this. So then Sumama continued the trading with them, and everything went fine after that one. So this is what we know about Sumama ibn Asal. The next incident was another execution of Salam ibn Abul Haqwayq. So he was a Jewish guy basically. He is a very rich leader in Khaybar, and he is the guy who financed the war of Ahzab, the Khandaq that we said, where a lot of people came. The enemy, like almost 10,000 enemies was there. So a big part of the enemy was financed by this guy, and he has some other records. So like other person, Ka'b ibn Ashraf, we mentioned before, Rasulullah ordered that who's gonna take in charge and execute this guy. And the Rasulullah had his reason and everything. So the group Khajraj, they said that no, we're gonna take care of this thing. And the leader of this expedition was his name was Abdul ibn Atiq. Atiq was he went there and he tricked themselves, and somehow he went to the fortress of the Khaybar, and he executed this person. But when he was coming back, he had a big injury in the leg, but he came to Rasulullah with his broken leg and everything. But Rasulullah touched his leg and he became cured. And this miracle also happened few times, and it will happen more in future also. We'll see that in the Seerah that Rasulullah touched someone and it became cured. So this is a small event, but this Salam ibn Abu Huqay, he was one of the great leader of the Jewish. So, and a lot of people, even today, a lot of non-Muslim, the Orientalists, they bring this issue that, this was an execution, your prophet killed someone and blah, blah, all these things. But, obviously Rasulullah had his reason, because this guy was, providing support, he was like the mastermind of all the battle and the finance and everything. The next event is a Ghazwa. So Rasulullah took part in this Ghazwa, and this is the Ghazwa of Banu Lihyan. Banu Lihyan was a tribe which is very close to Makkah, and they was planning an attack on Medina. So Rasulullah got the news, and he went there to before attack them. And the tribe was, this is the tribe who cheated Sahaba a lot of time. And if you remember that they killed almost 70 Sahaba. Remember that they said that we accepted Islam, send us your teachers. So Rasulullah sent almost 70 Sahaba, and they tricked them and they attacked them and they killed all of them. So this is that tribe. This is the tribe was very close to that land, and they were responsible for that. And they are again planning another attack, so Rasulullah attacked them. And there's no fighting happened, because when they saw that the Muslims are coming, they asked help from the Quraysh. And Quraysh sent a small group of army led by Khalid bin Walid. So Khalid bin Walid is still not a Muslim. He still went there, but when they saw the Muslims are coming in lot of numbers, so they thought, no, we're not going to fight. All the Banu Lihyan, they ran away from there. And this is the time, the scholars say, in this battle, because when Khalid bin Walid was there, this is the time Allah revealed the Salatul Khawf. And the Salatul Khawf in the ayah is in Surah Nisa, ayah number 102. What is Salatul Khawf? As you all know, that because it is a war of the place. So Khalid bin Walid was watching that all the Muslims are praying Zohar prayer, and they're all praying behind Rasulullah sallallahu. So the guy beside Khalid bin Walid, he said, I wish they do this one more time. They do because they didn't know what is prayer at that time. So I wish they do one more time like this, then we can kill all of them. So Khalid bin Walid said, I know they do it almost probably 5 times a day. So wait, and after Zohar, because when they arrived, the Zohar was almost finished. So they just finished the prayer. They just saw that there's probably last rakah or something they're praying. So they said, we wait till Asr. When Asr comes and they start the praying, all standing behind the Imam, we'll finish them all. That's it. But between Zohar and Asr, Allah revealed this verse, and Allah told Rasulullah the Salatul Khawf. Salatul Khawf is that, you all know what is that. That the Imam will pray, and one group will guard them, and other will pray behind him. One rakah is finished, Imam will continue the second rakah. This group will stand up, they will guard the whole group, and other group will come and do the second rakah. So this is how Allah protected this, and this is the time, and this is why this Ghazwa is important. That this is the Ghazwa where Allah revealed Salatul Khawf. The next event, the story of Abul As ibn Rabi. Abul As ibn Rabi, who was he? He was the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu. He was the husband of Zainab bint Muhammad radiyallahu anha. And if you remember, he took part in Battle of Badr. Abul As ibn Rabi, because he was a non-Muslim, he came from the Quraysh side. He took part in Badr, and he got captured in Badr. And he gave as his ransom a necklace. Whose necklace was that? Very easy.
His wife?
No.
His
His wife's mother, Khadija's. Because Khadija, radiyallahu anha, she gave a necklace in the time of the marriage to Abul Asim, to Zainab. And Zainab left this necklace to her husband or something. So he gave this necklace as a ransom. And when Rasulullah saw the necklace, he recognized that this is from Khadija. And he instantly told the Sahaba who captured him that, if you want, you can keep the necklace, but this is from Khadija. I can give you money for it if you leave. Obviously, Sahaba listened to Rasulullah, they let him go. Also, if you don't know, the Rasulullah has, how many daughters he had? How many daughters Rasulullah had? 4. Come on, brothers. 4 daughters, you all know that, right? And what are their names? Fatima is the last one. Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulsum, and Fatima. Zainab was the eldest one. And before Rasulullah became a Nabi, a Rasul, 2 of the daughters, Ruqayya and Kulsum, was engaged. with the son of, we told this, Abu Lahab. They were engaged with the son of Abu Lahab. As soon as Rasulullah started the dawah, like probably he's 40 or 41 years old, and Abu Lahab was the first one to oppose the message and everything, and that's why the Surah Al-Lahab came. So Abu Lahab told his son, break the marriage. Not the marriage, the engagement. They're supposed to get married and everything. So no more marriage with Muhammad Sallallahu. So he put his son. And that time, Zainab was already married with Zainab was the oldest daughter. He was married with Abu As ibn Ribay. And everybody in Makkah said, leave your wife, Zainab. But Abu As said, no, nobody can replace Zainab. I will never let her go. I'll never let her go. So he was a very, very good person. He has love for his wife and everything. But, Islam didn't go into his heart at that time. So he didn't, accepted Islam. Also, after Battle of Badr, Rasulullah told him when he got the necklace, and Rasulullah give the necklace back to him. He said, you take it, because I don't want this, Khadija's necklace, this is my daughter's. So he went to Makkah, but Rasulullah told him, that, when you go back to Makkah, send my daughter to me. I don't want my daughter to live with a mushrik, because you are not accepting Islam, and I cannot force you, so you have to send Zainab back to me. And Zainab came also. And there was another big incident, we also mentioned that when Zainab was coming from Makkah to Medina, what happened, do you remember? Anybody remember what happened? A big event happened. When Zainab was coming back from Makkah to Medina to his father, Rasulullah, she was in a camel, and some people captured her, and she was pregnant, and she fell from the camel because one of the guy he put the sparrow in the camel that she was riding, and she fell from the camel, and she had a miscarriage. She had a miscarriage, and because of this miscarriage, it continued bleeding actually for several months, because she had a big injury basically, and she died because of the injury actually. And the guy who killed that camel, so basically who killed the grandson of Rasulullah, from his dynasty, there was a dynasty happened later on, it's called Habbarid, Al-Habbarid dynasty. Al-Habbarid dynasty is the one who went to Pakistan, Multan. He went to, this dynasty was formed after a long time, like at least 100 years later. They formed they're the first people who came to the Southeast Asia, especially the Sindh province, the Multan, and I forgot the other name, there's another city in Pakistan at that time. So they had their dynasty there, and from there, Islam spread in that area. So they were the first group from the Sahaba, from the Arab, they came there. So imagine like the guy who killed the grandson of Rasulullah is the cause, but from his dynasty, because they became Muslim and everything, and Allah give him the image to go from there. Anyway, we come back to the story of Abu As ibn Ribay. So this time what happened? So now Battle of Badr has happened few years back, right? So this time Zaid bin Harisa, Zaid bin Harisa, right, the Arab son of Rasulullah, he went for an expedition which was very close to Makkah. At that time, Abu As ibn Ribay was carrying a caravan with a lot of trading materials and everything. So he captured Abu As ibn Ribay, and he brought him back to Medina. When he brought him back, nobody knows that who was the captain, who was the PAW. They just caught everybody. They just say, "Come with us." So in the Fajr time, but Zainab was in Medina now. So Zainab saw that her husband again came to Medina this time as a POW, as a prisoner of war. So in the Fajr time, Rasulullah finished the prayer. He said, "Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah." Everybody in the Fajr, because that time the Fajr was like Jummah, not like us. The whole masjid was full packed. So after that, behind the curtain, a sound came up. The Zainab screamed, and he said, "O Muslim." So Zainab is talking. "O Muslim, I have given protection to Abu As ibn Ribay. So don't do anything to her. I given her protection." So Rasulullah was surprised. Rasulullah didn't know that Abu As is here. So Rasulullah said, and from this incident, it is allowed in all madhab that if a Muslim give a protection to other Muslim, nobody can touch him. Even the Muslim is a kid. If a 8 years old, that's in Islamic land, not here in Australia, but if it's 8 years old boy, say, "Okay, I take care of this Muslim. He is new to my country, he is new to here, don't do anything, he's not, I am in charge." So nobody can touch that guy, because he's the amana. So that is like this. So Zainab took amana of her husband, and then Rasulullah talked to the Abu As ibn Rabi, and Sahaba also talked to them, and Sahaba said, "Oh, Abu As, why don't you accept Islam? We are in the right path and everything." So they tried to give him dawah and everything. Then he said, Abu As ibn Rabi said, "Yes, I want to accept Islam now. I know you are in truth and everything, but I don't want to do it right now, because if I do it, people will think that I have my trading caravan with me, and just to get rid of you, I have done this, taken Islam." So he went back to Makkah, and he gave everybody's investment back to the people, and then he became Muslim, because he said, "I don't have any responsibility of the people of the Quraysh, So he became a Muslim and he came back, and he came back in Medina, and he started living with Zainab, and the marriage continued. But now this has a problem. How come a Muslim? Because in Islam, as you all know, if you are a couple, married couple, if your wife is Muslim, husband is non-Muslim, is the marriage valid? Not valid, right? Okay, before that, let's talk about something else. Is the marriage of the non-Muslim people, is it valid or invalid? Valid?
Yes.
How? Why? What is the proof it's valid? Like, there's a Hindu guy, suppose anybody in India, he married a Hindu girl. They're not Muslim. Is their marriage valid or invalid in the eyes of Islam? Valid. Okay, good. Valid. The answer is valid. Why it is valid? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran mentioned the wife of Abu Lahab as Umratu, as the valid wife. So Allah didn't say that their marriage is not valid. When what they use Umra'ata, meaning he is the wife of Abu Lahab. And there's other places, the Pharaoh's wife, Asiya, although she became a Muslim, she became Islam in later on, but Pharaoh was not a Muslim. She is a great enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but still Allah called her his wife. So Allah give him the title that they are their wife. So that is the valid. Now in this case, as you know that if a couple, both are non-Muslim, so they come to the masjid and they say we both want to be Islam, accept Islam now. If they accept Islam, so there's two Hindu people come here, or maybe two Christian or whatever, or husband and wife, and they say we want to become Muslim. Once they become Muslim, do you have to renew their marriage contract? No? Or yes? Because they are not Muslim before.
That was valid before any question.
But that's not Islamic marriage.
They have to renew it.
No, they don't have to. Why they have? The proof is thousands of people accepted Islam during the time of Rasulullah. Never ever he renewed the marriage contract. So if both of them became Muslim at the same time, no problem. No marriage contract required, no mahar required, nothing required. Another situation is that husband become Muslim first, and wife is a Christian or a Jew. You still no problem, because we are allowed to have Christian and Jewish wife, and because she was the wife of the guy, so she didn't have any. It's assumed that she didn't have any relationship with any other people before this guy. So because her last husband now became a Muslim, so she can still keep Christian and Jewish, but it's better, scholars say, to convert her in 2 or 3 months. If she doesn't deny, then either he can continue the marriage, or you can let her go. But in the case of the case here, the woman, the lady is Muslim, and according to Islamic Sharia, for 1 month, for one menstrual cycle, you can have your husband as a non-Muslim. After one period is gone, you cannot have. The marriage is annulled. Marriage is not valid after that. But this is a different case. And a lot of scholars try to sort out this hadith, how Rasulullah allowed this. Because this is a different case. It is the case that, when Zainab was Muslim, she had the right after 1 month to marry anybody. Because her marriage was invalid, right? Because she became Muslim, and it has happened in Battle of Badr 2-3 years back. So next 2-3 years, Abu As didn't came and become Muslim, so obviously the marriage is valid. So Zainab has the right to marry another guy. If she would have married another guy, there's no chance, marriage finished. Abu As has no chance. But because Abu As came back and she didn't get married to anybody, so Rasulullah gave Zainab back to Abu As, and he said, no mahar required, no nikah contract required, it is fine, and this is an exceptional case. It doesn't happen, but it's an exceptional case, and Ibn Taymiyyah and other scholars has books on these things. How it happened and why, when should we allow and everything. So anyway, this is the story of Abu As ibn Ribai. So he became Muslim, and the daughter of our Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she continued whatever life she had. She didn't live, she died during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So whatever life she had, she spent the time with her husband. The next small event is the expedition of Khabar. This expedition is a very interesting one. This was led by Abu Ubaidah ibn Zarrah. Abu Ubaidah was one of the 10. Yes, exactly, one of the 10 Sahaba, who's Ashara Mubashara. So he went to this expedition. So the expedition was not a very difficult one, and they were successful. So they were trying to capture a caravan of the Quraysh, but the Quraysh was a bit smart enough at that time, so they passed away and they went away. But what happened? Because of this, they had to spend a lot of time in there, and they had a food shortage. So much so food shortage is that they had to eat the whole day one date, and they used to keep the date seed in their mouth and chew on that one as if they like a chewing gum. They had the date seed as a chewing gum to their mouth, as if they pretend themselves, they give a feeling to their stomach that they have some food. So it was very terrible time for them. So Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah give us food or something, because we have to stay here for more days. And then when they are coming back, they found near the shore, this is a city near Saudi Arabia, like one of the city of Saudi is called Yambor, I think it's called Yambor. It is close to the sea. So they were in that part. So they saw a big blue whale. And the description hadith says that the eye socket of that whale, 13 or 14 Sahaba was sitting on the eye socket of the whale. And it was dead already. It was dead already. And they were so happy. 300 people was in this expedition, 300 people. And they eat from that whale for 1 month. 1 month they eat from that whale. And also Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, what he did, he took one bone of the whale, the bones like the whale, and he put it in the sand just to measurement how big is that. And he went under the bone with his camel, with his tallest camel, and he could easily go. So we are talking like almost like 40 feet or 45 feet long. So it was a big whale. So anyway, they enjoyed the food for 1 month. They had a lot of food, and they pack up some meat and they went back to Medina. But they went to Rasulullah because this is the first time they saw a whale, and they don't know what is halal or haram. So they went to Rasulullah. They said, "Ya Rasulullah, we are in Darura. Our life was going away. So we eat this thing. Is it halal or haram? What we did?" The Rasulullah asked them, "Did you had any meat with you?" He said, "Yes, we have packed something. We have left some meat, so we brought it here for you." And the Rasulullah eat from there. And this is the first time, and I think only time, Rasulullah tasted seafood. This is the only time in his whole life Rasulullah tasted seafood. And by eating this, he said to them, everything from the sea is halal. Everything, from hunger to like from shark, for whale, whatever, squid, octopus, whatever it is halal from. And this is the hadith they used in the fiqh of all the madhab. I think only Hanafi madhab has some other thoughts, like they said the shrimp is makruh or something. But all other madhab, everything from the sea, and Rasulullah ate it in front of them, just to demonstrate that if I can eat from this, obviously everybody can eat. That's what he said. So everything from the sea is halal, and this is the event that's why I brought that event. It's an interesting event, and they found that well. The last one event today here, actually we're not going to discuss this too. This is the time, as I said, just before the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, the marriage with Zainab bint Jahsh. So Rasulullah married Zainab bint Jahsh, and this marriage is one of the most controversial issue of the Seerah. Why it is controversial? Can anybody tell me? Why the marriage with Zainab bint Jahsh is so important? Who was Zainab bint Jahsh before? We talked about the marriage of wives of Rasulullah.
Daughter of tribal leader.
No, that's
the wife of Rasulullah, son of Rasulullah.
yes, Zaid bin Harisa, yeah, the adopted son of Rasulullah. And she's the one, that's why Allah mentioned Zaid's name in the Quran. He's the only Sahaba, remember, right? In Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah said, I give her to Zaid, and after that I give it to her. So the marriage was done in the Quran. For this marriage, there's no nikah contract, no mahr, nothing. And she, Zainab, there's another wife called Zainab bint Khuzaimah, that was the tribe leader. But Zainab bint Jahsh used to take pride to other wives. He used to say, your marriage happened in dunya. My marriage happened from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. But we'll talk about it because this is one of the matter that non-Muslim talks a lot of hadiths about this. They say, how can your Prophet marry his sons? He adopted his son and everything. But before that, Allah ruled this. He's not his adopted son. There's nothing called adopted son in Islam. But anyway, we'll talk about it later. And also, this is the time the ruling of hijab came. So ruling of after almost near the 6th year, the verse of the Surah An-Nur revealed, and the hijab of the woman, because until then there's no hijab. So this is the time the hijab came down. So we'll finish it off here, inshallah ta'ala. And next week we'll start the either Treaty of the Hudaybiyah, or maybe we'll discuss the marriage of Rasulullah with Zainab bint Jahsh. So jazakallahu khair, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.